First question. After your release, have you been completely honest with the people that have been at this home in Salt Springs? Response, yes. Second question. At any point after your release, have you informed anyone about the incarnations in Salt Springs? Response, yes. I have a girlfriend who is helping me prepare to move with her back to Ireland. Third question. Is this girlfriend of yours trustworthy? Response. As far as I know, yes. We grew up together in Ireland, and we've always been together except for the last 3 years when I spent my time abroad. Fourth question. Why were you not more forthcoming about information that you had? Response. I did not have enough power to send them everything. The situation was very terrifying, but I was in the position to give as much information as I could. I'm not an intelligent man, nor am I able to ascertain what was going on in the situation or what information these incarnations needed. They did not directly ask me any relevant questions that would help them, so I gave them the information that I knew of, starting from the oldest. I had planned on giving more to them and catching them up on everything I knew in order of time. Fifth question. Try and stick to the answers as precisely as you can. Do not go into any explanations. What type of power trap do you have in order to send notes to a Father God? Response. It is a family heirloom, a small ring. It can contain enough powers to send notes or small items and to be able to send a maximum of 5. Sixth question. Why did you not inform these informants that the being on the text messaging was indeed a mystic being named Tatana? Response. I did not know who he was. All I know is that the group said that he worked for the CIA. I'm not sure who the CIA are, but I do know that he spoke of Damien and how Damien worked for this CIA. So the man must work for the same people that Damien worked for. Seventh question. So you were telling us that you did not know what the CIA is? Response. Yes, I did not know what that is. I'm assuming it is some sort of abbreviation for whatever group Damien and Tatana worked for. What is the CIA? Eighth question. I do not know, but I think it's some weird human organization. However, that is beyond the point. I believe you are not supposed to be asking questions. Asking questions, but be correct. Response, yes. Ninth question. Have you engaged in anything that would endanger the queen of the giants? Response, not to my knowledge. 10th question. Are you prepared to undergo the process of truth endurance? It is very painful. Response. It seems to me that it is the only way that I can justify myself. Despite the pain, I do not want to be taken into custody or further burdened by the incarnations. So yes. At this point, we ran him through the true stone. This stone divines the integrity of the being, also revealing their innermost thoughts and desires. They are then scraped and aggregated into a section of the stone. Then reasons out the true integrity and truth of the being. There is no way for him to bypass this or fake it. because we have stripped him of any clothing or items that he could possibly use to alter things. He is simply being revealed. It is at this point that we asked him if he wished to make a statement and where he wished to be released to. His statement to the judge and jury in this case: I wish to put forward the facts that that I have proven my worth. I indeed have entered into a relationship with Tatang. He approached someone that I was previously working with. She had hired me to spy on some local government officials in the human world. I, at no time, did go into the physical realm, even though my family heirloom gave me the ability to, at times, look through and be able to do such a thing. After he provided me with incentive to work for him, I then entered into a contract with him. After doing so and spying on the people whom I thought he wanted me to spy on, I quickly found out that they were not the people I was sent there to spy on. In fact, they were simple humans, which I had originally thought was the whole purpose of this. He then informed me that I was not there to spy on these humans, but rather the people that would buy the home after these humans. These people turned out to be incarnations. I then attempted to get out of this arrangement, as I would never wish to harm a god. However, I was knowledgeable of the fact that these people were very dangerous, as I was giving examples of their danger from Damien. So I myself did not want to get on their bad side, and I wanted to find a way out of the scenario. I knew that if I kept working for them, I would have to continue to injure the gods, and I had no other choice but to continue to work for them, except for an opportunity where I was told that they wanted me to place a stone on a person named Rose Mills. I knew that they must have been desperate to have me do it, but they also knew that I had a family heirloom that allowed me to peer into the physical realm. My assumption was that they knew I had something they needed, the ability to actually bring an item into the human world without being caught. And I believe they must have ascertained this information from the person I previously worked for, as me and her had talked at length about my family heritage. Because I knew that they were desperate to make a move, I decided to comply with the stipulation that I would leave and not have to come back. It did not work as I had planned. They refused to accept my conditions and were going to continue to force me to injure the incarnations. The night of the event went as follows. I took the stone that they gave me, and I followed the Father God incarnation and the young Rose Mills. They went out to the car and took a ride and parked at a place where they played Pokemon Go. It seemed that they were simply playing the game, so I took the opportunity to drop the stone out of the magical realm, even though it would drain the power that was left in my amulet. I felt I had no other choice, as Damien would likely have killed me or done much worse to me. Unfortunately, there was no way for me to get away from injuring the incarnations. I knew that there was nothing I could do to stop what was going to be happening. So I just approached and did as I was forced to do. I in no way have attempted or desired to injure the incarnations of the gods. I myself have in no way tried to hide anything from them. I simply do not have the ability to write them regularly, as it takes a lot of power to fill my trap. I originally started to tell them things in chronological order, as to the best of my knowledge. I had overheard Damien speak of items that have been stolen from these incarnations in the past. So I felt this may be relevant. That this may be relevant information to these incarnations, as I was not sure if they themselves had the knowledge of these items being missed. I had hoped to give them some insight as to what items Damien would be able to use against them. I myself do not know what these items do. I know nothing of these types of things. So I simply started at that point. And when I was working my way to try and reveal more to them, unfortunately, I started to run out of powers. and they kept asking questions that were not pertinent to the situation. I tried to interject my own information along the way, but they kept asking me to stay and things of that nature. I made it very clear to them that it was dangerous for me to be there, not only for me, but for them. I also made it clear that I desired to go home and that I wanted to go back to Ireland. But they assured me that they believed me, and they assured me that they wanted me to stay and work with them, and they assured me that they would protect me. Instead, despite my truthfulness, they acted deceitfully towards me. They promised me protection and then turned me over to the interrogation room. They promised that they would keep me safe and yet subjected me to punishment for crimes I did not commit. They did this, and I had no choice but to be subject to their will. I ask that the jury and the judge please consider these things as I have given them as I've given them truthfully, and I will now engage myself to go back into the stone of truth to prove that these words are as accurate and truthful as I can be. It was at this point that the judge left to deliberate on these matters for a moment. He returned and he agreed to allow this being to be subject to the true stone once the leprechaun was subject to the tooth stone. For the second time, he passed out. However, the stone told truth, and his words were as accurate as can be expected. We then brought him to his quarters so that he could rest, and the jury convened and found that he was not guilty in this matter, either that he was unfortunately subject to circumstances that were beyond his own control or the control of the incarnations. We have released him now, and he has gone back to Ireland and will be considered at no fault and is free to live his life without stigma.